Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Hello, children, and welcome to a new chapter, the environment. Now, when we see the environment, let's first see what is ecology. The natural environment in which we live and survive is known as our environment, that we already know. Now, the branch of science that deals with the study of living things in their natural surroundings, this is very important. So, the study of living beings in their natural surroundings is called as ecology. For example, if we look at a pond, if we study the fishes in the pond, then we're talking about ecology. But if we pick up that fish away from the pond, keep it in our fish tank and study, that does not come under ecology. So studying living beings in their natural environment is called as ecology. Now these scientists who study ecology are called as ecologists. Now, we all know that there is interdependence in nature. We know that living things depend on non living things and they depend on other living things. Suppose if you take a plant, for example, it depends on animals as well as other non living things. So, this we call it as interdependence. And more about interdependence, we've already studied in another chapter. Now, we know that there is a growing problem in the environment which we call as environmental problems. Now, what are these environmental problems? First, we have is hunting of animals for clothing and cosmetics. We know that we hunt several animals for their leather and other clothing materials that we make. And if you see cosmetics, we use beeswax and other things of that sort to make lipsticks and eyeshadows and things like that. So, we're hunting animals for our purposes. The next one is we are cutting down of trees and forests to make space for our cities and for our farms, which you know is not fair. The third one is that we are dumping waste from factories, homes, and hospitals into water or soil. This again is not something that is very nice. We are polluting our environment. And the last one, if you see, we as human beings are releasing fumes from our vehicles and from factories into the air, and we're polluting the air. This again is another environmental problem. So, if you see broadly, we've classified environmental problems into four. So, the first one we have cutting of trees, second one we have hunting of animals, third one we have dumping of waste, and fourth one we have releasing of fumes from our vehicles. Now, these activities have harmed the environment by causing pollution of the air, water, and land. Not just that, it has also increased erosion of soil, and because of the fumes that are released by vehicles, we are causing global warming and also we are endangering several species of plants and animals. You know that several species have been enlisted that they will become extinct soon, right? That is all because of human activities. So let us now briefly talk about pollution. What is pollution? Pollution is the release of substances into air, water, or soil that are harmful to living things. And these harmful substances are called as pollutants. This is a major environmental issue, and there are different kinds of pollution. What are the different kinds of pollution? The first one is air pollution, then we have water pollution, we have soil pollution. Now we'll study air pollution first. Now, when you see air pollution comes from burning of fuels, fossil fuels like petrol, diesel, coal. These are all burnt in vehicles as well as factories, and when they are burnt, they release smoke as well as other harmful gases into the atmosphere. Now, because of these harmful gases, there are several diseases that are caused. What are the diseases that are caused? Excess of pollutants in air make it unfit for us to breathe. And this results in a number of diseases of our respiratory system. And people who live near areas of heavy pollution also suffer from a lot of breathing problems and lung damage. So you can see the amount of damage that this air pollution is doing to us. Not just that, air pollution causes global warming. How does it cause global warming? Burning of these fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide, and the more you burn it, there is an increase in the level of carbon dioxide in our air. Now, an interesting thing about carbon dioxide is that it retains heat. Okay, so once it retains heat from the sunlight, it results in an increase in the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere. Now, this increase in temperature of the Earth's atmosphere because of carbon dioxide is called as global warming. Now, due to this global warming, the polar ice caps or the ice at the poles start to melt. And it's not something to rejoice about. Because of this melting, it can result in flooding of low-lying areas, because the amount of water on Earth is going to increase because of the ice caps melting. And because of this, there's going to be floods that occurs on land which lies near the seashore. Air pollution also causes removal of the ozone layer. There are some pollutants that are released into air which affects the ozone layer in the upper atmosphere. If you can see here, these are the pollutants which are going up and they are affecting our ozone layer which is there in the atmosphere. You can see it is eating up on the atmosphere. Now, this ozone protects us from the harmful UV rays of the sun. But scientists have detected there are certain holes in the ozone because of which this UV light of the sun is able to enter into our atmosphere. And once it enters, it can cause some serious disorders like skin cancer and eye problems. So it's not something very ignorable. These are major issues of the environment which we have to tackle as good citizens. Now, another major issue that we are facing because of air pollution is called as acid rains. What are acid rains? You know that several factories like powerhouses burn coal to generate electricity. Now, because of this burning of coal, there are several harmful gases that are released into the atmosphere. Now, once they release, they will mix with the water vapor that is present in the atmosphere and they will form substances called as acids. Okay, now these acids will come down with rain. Once it starts to rain, like this picture here, when it starts to rain, these acids will mix with water and they will come down as acid rain. And this acid rain can cause a lot of damage to soil, to plants and to buildings. This is called as acid rain. So if you see here, plants die, and this is the massive amount of damage that acid rain can do to monuments. This is a historic monument, and you can see over the years because of acid rain how it has become misshapen. Something that was so beautiful, you can hardly make out what it is. So acid rain isn't something that we can ignore. You can see the amount of damage that it can do to our environment. So with this, we complete the part 1 of the chapter. Let's do a quick recap of what all we covered in part 1. Now, first, we spoke about ecology. We said that it was a branch of science that deals with the study of living things in their natural environment. And we saw the scientists who study ecology were called as ecologists. Then we spoke about environmental problems such as cutting of trees, hunting of animals, dumping of waste, and releasing fumes into the atmosphere. Then we spoke about pollution. We said that release of substances into air, water, or soil which are harmful is called as pollution. And we saw these harmful substances are called as pollutants. Then we went on to talk about air pollution. We saw that because of air pollution, there is removal of ozone, there is acid rain, there is several diseases caused to our respiratory system, and we spoke about global warming. So all this we covered under part 1. Please look up at part 2 as well. If you have any doubts, get back to us. Thank you.
جزاك الله خيرا.